need to understand. Tell me one thing that makes y'all dope.
Light skin, isn't it? Where most of us, sorry.
Are you black?
Yeah.
You're black and you're telling me that being light skinned is what makes you dope.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I saw that video, I clutched my pearls. I said, let me get into this comment section. But when I went to the comment section, the first comment that I saw was someone saying, well, she's just saying what many people have been thinking for a long time, but are too afraid to say. Before we get into that conversation, like and subscribe right now, okay? Because you like this content. And if you don't, just wait until the end. I promise you will. As long as you belong to any other group apart from white, you understand the light skin effect, okay? You understand that light skin is actually the standard of beauty. I don't know which came first. I don't know which is the egg. I don't know which is the chicken. All I know is that we all know it is a standard of beauty.
Light skin is associated with femininity, while dark skin is associated with masculinity. That's why you hear tall, dark, and handsome being described as the ideal man, and things like fair and lovely or yellow boned for the ideal woman. And what I mean by I don't know what came first is that I don't know whether it was the desire that came first and then society deemed it a standard, or society made it a standard and then it became a desire. All I know is that that's the way it is.
We see it even in media. The people who are usually represented as black people, like Zendaya or Ice Spice, are very ambiguous. And you can see it even on Instagram, where we've got the Insta baddie, the Kardashians, even people like Ariana Grande. All of them have a certain ambiguity to them. You don't really know which grouping they are from. Something as simple as a different curl pattern can put you up that beauty standard. Even the dark-skinned girlies, in order for them to be considered beautiful, there has to be a certain ambiguity about them. And I feel like that's why Ryan Destiny and SZA are a big thing. We see this even in all the famous spouses. When you switch on the TV and you put something like maybe Real Housewives of, I don't know, Basketball Wives, or one of these shows like reality shows, you always find that the spouses look very ambiguous. But as I was pondering upon this topic and going through YouTube, I found this thumbnail. And it is so true. This is such a common couple that we see, where it's a dark-skinned girl and a white guy. The pairing is so common. It's something that we've always seen, but the person who brought out this concept, who I saw it from, was lip gloss. So she was going on a natural hair journey, and she was talking about how she can only attract white guys with her natural hair and her skin color, and how she was choosing to present herself at that time. And so I started reminiscing about all the couples that I have looked at on social media, and that's usually the case. If it's a white man and a black woman, the woman is mostly dark skinned from what I've seen. So I started to wonder, apart from the usual Eurocentrism, or talk about colonization or white beauty standards, I wanted to explore the topic from a different angle. And I wondered if these two things were operating independently of each other, or are they the same thing? And then I remembered that at some point, I think last year, I came across this experiment. It was a pheromone experiment. They took different pheromones from different people. So people who are participating in the experiment, they'll take it from like their brother or their father, and then from their friend, just different places. And then they put them in little like test tubes, and then they tell this person to smell it and see how they react. They were not told anything else, I'm guessing. And then they smelled it, and what came out is that people were repulsed by people who had similar pheromones to them. So if you had to smell the pheromones of your brother, your mother, or just your relatives, if you had to smell the pheromones of your relatives, you are pretty much repulsed or disgusted by them. But if you had to smell the pheromones of someone who was very different from you, you were attracted to it. And so what this experiment was trying to prove is that people are repulsed by a similar gene pool to their own, because diverse genes means a stronger offspring.
I also learned that from an evolutionary standpoint, this was a really great addition to prevent inbreeding and incest.
So I started thinking, trying to put these two concepts together, and I was wondering if maybe being attracted to ambiguity is a natural process in evolution. With the coming of social media and television and so many people finding partners on their phones, scrolling and swiping right and left, has our body discovered a new way to detect a different gene pool? In the age of social media, we can't go around smelling each other to see who is most similar to us or who is different different to us. But the easiest way to know someone has a diverse gene pool is just by looking at them. Do they look mixed race? Is the attraction to ambiguity a product of evolution, especially after television and social media? If so, that would make a lot of sense, because if we are arguing for people who look ambiguous, maybe we are more attracted to them because we know that if we have offspring with them, their gene pool is diverse. That means it's more likely to be stronger and produce stronger offspring. And also the case of these really unlikely couples where it's a white man and a dark-skinned woman, if the theory is true biologically, it means that they are being attracted to something completely different than them to have the best outcome of strong offspring. But then I continued to look and I found that people marry people who are similar to them, whether it's physically or personality-wise. And also, people tend to go for people who resemble their parents. And another one is, till this day, a huge majority of people tend to marry within their group. And the last one is that there is more generic variation within one grouping than there is between different groups.
A reason I thought it was very important to debunk this theory is that even though this is just a really fun, light-hearted video and a hypothesis that is built in good faith, similar arguments have also been used in the past to justify very inhumane and unnecessary acts.
Anyway, so don't take this too seriously. Just take this as another shallow dive into a deep topic. I explored this angle because I really wanted to take a different angle from the ones that we usually hear. Usually the ones we hear sound very hopeless, and it gives people a lot of depression because they feel like they are undesired. So I wanted to take a route that gives encouragement to everyone, because if this theory is correct, it means as long as you possess DNA or as long as you possess a gene pool, there is someone who has a varying gene pool than yours, and they will be attracted to you. It's just that other people's diverse gene pool is so easy to see because it presents physically. So this theory may be valid or it may not be valid, but one thing is for sure, it was really, really fun to hypothesize. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.